Couple of minutes. See if anybody shows up. We're going to read the book of Daniel. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, sovereign of Yehuda, Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. Shaloha, McMaster. And Yahweh gave Jehoiakim, sovereign of Yehuda, into his hand, with some of the utensils of the house of Elohim, which he brought to the land of Shinar, to the house of his mighty one. And he brought the utensils into the treasure house of his mighty one. And the sovereign said to Ashpenaz, the chief of his eunuchs, to bring some of the children of Israel, and some of the sovereign's descendants, and some of the nobles, young men, in whom there was no blemish, but good-looking, having insight and all wisdom, having knowledge and understanding, learning, capable to stand in the sovereign's palace, and to teach them the writing and speech of the Chasdim. And the sovereign appointed for them a daily ration of the sovereign's food, and of the wine which he drank, and 3 years of training for them, so that at the end thereof they should stand before the sovereign. Now among them were the sons of Yehuda, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And the chief of the eunuchs gave them names, for he called Daniel Belteshazzar, and Hananiah Shadrach, and Mishael Meshach, and Azariah Abednego. But Daniel laid it upon his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the sovereign's food, nor with the wine which he drank. So he asked permission from the chief of the eunuchs not to defile himself. And Elohim granted Daniel loving commitment and compassion from the chief of the eunuchs. But the chief of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my master, the sovereign, who has appointed your food and drink. For why should he see your face looking worse than the young men who are your age? Then you should make my head guilty before the sovereign. And Daniel said to the overseer whom the chief of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, please try your servants for 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our appearances be examined before you, and the appearances of the young men who eat the portion of the sovereign's food, and do with your servants as you see fit. And he listened to them in this matter, and tried them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their appearances looked better and fatter in flesh than all the young men who ate the portion of the sovereign's food. Crap in, crap out, right? And it came to be that the overseer took away their portion of food and the wine that they were to drink, and gave them vegetables. As for these 4 young men, Elohim gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And at the end of the days, when the sovereign had said that they should be brought in, the chief of the eunuchs brought them before Nebuchadnezzar. And the sovereign spoke with them, and none among them all were found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. I'm reading from the book of Daniel in the Bible. What are you doing, Fire Phoenix? And the sovereign spoke with them, and none among them all were found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they stood before the sovereign. And in any word of wisdom and understanding about which the sovereign examined them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers who were in all his reign. The book of Daniel. in the scriptures, ISR 2009. And Daniel continued until the first year of sovereign Koresh. Daniel chapter 2. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams, and his spirit was so troubled that his sleep left him. And the sovereign gave orders to call the magicians and the astrologers and the practitioners of witchcraft and the Kasdim to declare to the sovereign his dreams. So they came and stood before the sovereign. And the sovereign said to them, I've had a dream, and my spirit is troubled to know that dream. And the Kasdim spoke to the sovereign in Aramaic, O sovereign, live forever. Relate the dream to your servants, and we shall reveal the interpretation. The sovereign answered and said to the Kasdim, my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream and its interpretation to me, your limbs shall be taken from you, and your houses made dunghills. But if you reveal the dream and its interpretation, you shall receive gifts and rewards and great esteem from me. So reveal to me the dream and its interpretation. They answered again and said, let the sovereign relate to his servants the dream, and we shall reveal its interpretation. And the sovereign answered and said, I know for certain that you would gain time, because you see that my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me, there is only one decree for you. For you have agreed to speak lying and corrupt words before me till the time has changed. So relate the dream to me, then I shall know that you shall reveal its interpretation for me. The Kasdim answered the sovereign and said, there is no one on earth who is able to reveal the matter of the sovereign, because no sovereign, master, or ruler has ever asked a matter like this of any magician or astrologer or Kasdim. And the matter that the sovereign is asking is difficult, and there is no other who is able to reveal it to the sovereign except the Elhin, whose dwelling is not with flesh. Because of this, the sovereign was enraged and very wroth, and gave orders to destroy all the wise ones of Babel. So the decree went out, and they began killing the wise ones, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. Then with counsel and wisdom, Daniel answered, Arioch, the chief of the sovereign's guard, who had gone out to kill the wise ones of Babel, he answered and said to Arioch, the sovereign's officer, why is the decree from the sovereign so urgent? So Arioch made the decision known to Daniel, and Daniel went in and asked the sovereign to give him time, and he would show the sovereign the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, to seek compassion from the Allah of the heavens concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions should not perish with the rest of the wise ones of Babel. Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision, and Daniel blessed the Allah of the heavens. Daniel responded and said, blessed be the name of Allah, forever and ever, for the wisdom and might are his. And he changes the times and the seasons. He removes sovereigns and raises up sovereigns. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who possess understanding. He reveals deep and secret matters. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O Allah of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we ask of you, for you have made known to us the sovereign's matter. So Daniel went to Arioch, whom the sovereign had appointed to destroy the wise ones of Babel. He went and said this to him, do not destroy the wise ones of Babel. Bring me in before the sovereign, and I shall show the interpretation to the sovereign. Then Arioch brought Daniel in a hurry before the sovereign, and said thus to him, I have found a man among the sons of exile of Yehuda, who does make known to the sovereign the interpretation. The sovereign answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation? Daniel answered before the sovereign and said, the secret which the sovereign is asking, the wise ones, the astrologers and magicians and diviners are unable to show it to the sovereign. But there is an Allah in the heavens who reveals secrets, and he has made known to sovereign Nebuchadnezzar what is to be in the latter days of your dreams, and the visions of your head upon your bed were these. As for you, O sovereign, on your bed your thoughts came up. What is going to take place after this? And he who reveals secrets has made known to you what shall be after this. As for me, this secret has not been revealed to me, because I have more wisdom than anyone living, but for our sakes, who make known the interpretation to the sovereign, and that you should know the thoughts of your heart. You, O sovereign, were looking on and saw a great image. This great image, in its brightness excellent, was standing before you, and its form was awesome. The image's head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You were looking on until a stone was cut out without hands, and it smote the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, and the bronze, and the silver, and the gold were crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. And the wind took them away, so that no trace of them was found. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled all the earth. This is the dream, and its interpretation we declare before the sovereign. You, O sovereign, are a sovereign of sovereigns, for the Allah of the heavens has given you a reign, power, and strength, and preciousness. And whatever the children of men dwell, or the wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field and the birds of the heavens, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are the head of gold, and after you rises up another reign, lower than yours, and another third reign of bronze that rules over all the earth. And the fourth reign is as strong as iron, because iron crushes and shatters all. So like iron that breaks in pieces, it crushes and breaks all these. Yet as you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, the reign is to be divided. But some of the strength of the iron is to be in it, because you saw the iron mixed with muddy clay. And as the toes of the feet were partially of iron and partially of clay, so is the reign partially strong and partially brittle. And as you saw iron mixed with muddy clay, they are mixing themselves with the seed of men, but they are not clinging to each other, even as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these, sovereign, the Allah of the heavens shall set up a reign which shall never be destroyed, nor the reign pass on to other people. It crushes and puts to an end all these reigns, and it shall stand forever. Because you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it crushed the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great Allah has made known to the sovereign what shall be after this. And the dream is true, and its interpretation is trustworthy. Then sovereign Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face and did obeisance before Daniel, and gave orders to present to him an offering and incense. And sovereign answered Daniel and said, truly your Allah is the Allah of Elohim, the master of sovereigns, and a revealer of secrets, since you were able to reveal this secret. Then the sovereign made Daniel great, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over all the province of Babel, and chief of the nobles over all the wise ones of Babel. And Daniel asked of the sovereign, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the work of the province of Babel, and Daniel in the gate of the sovereign. Chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar the sovereign made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babel. And sovereign Nebuchadnezzar sent word to gather together the viceroys, the nobles, and the governors, and counselors, the treasurers, the judges, and magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which sovereign Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the viceroys and nobles and the governors and the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all officials of the provinces gathered together for the dedication of the image that sovereign Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald loudly proclaimed, "To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that as soon as you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the zither, the lyre, the harp, the pipes, and all kinds of instruments." There we go.